But but Desmond's the guy in charge of the metal for sure.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
Okay.
so anyways, time goes by. We made being the president of Past Labs is not an honor. It's something that you get stuck with if you've demonstrated too much talent and willingness to work. So we made Desmond president some years ago, and he's done a fabulous job. But Desmond has built a house now in Ireland, where he came from, on his family property. He's planning on going back there one of these days. And so what we've done is we've put him in, he's in the semi-retirement category. We have a great retirement program, which is we still pay you and you're still available.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
So that's a very intention of seeing to it that Desmond sticks with that kind of thing, because you need his talent. In the meantime, Desmond, the daughter of Barbara, who married Joe, her name is Anastasia. She grew up, for some unusual reason, learned a lot about accounting and went to school and so on, and ended up as an accountant at Hewlett Packard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Got tired of Hewlett Packard, joined Past Labs.
Oh, there you go.
And she's so terrific. Guess who's president now?
Yeah. She is, huh?
She is.
Oh, wow. Fabulous.
She's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. That's
so
great.
We've got this incredibly great crew.
Yeah.
And it's just totally freed me up simply to create stuff.
Sure.
And
that's the best.
And that's the good life.
Yeah, it is, for sure. Yeah. So what's the latest thing you're working on?
Well, I am working with those SITs that I mentioned.
Okay.
We have pretty much burned through the supply of the ones made by SemiSouth.
Okay.
However, I have acquired an inventory of the big token transistors that were salvaged after the Fukushima earthquake and the tsunami and the whole mess.
Do they glow in the dark?
No, they are silicon.
Sure.
And I see what you're saying. No, I mean, actually, there was another joke.
You got to check them with a Geiger counter before they come in the door.
Yeah, they unfortunately do not. But no, the joke was that I almost thought you were referring to was silicon carbide can be operated at such high temperatures that it can glow.
Oh, okay.
It croaks at like 800 degrees centigrade.
Yeah, I know silicon carbide is blasting grit.
Yeah, well, it can be made into semiconductors as well. And so you can mount it close to a jet engine, so the Air Force is interested, or you can put it on the surface of Venus and it will still live.
Wow.
Which, see, silicon, not so much. So it's very, very rugged stuff. Well, it's got other properties as well. Very high voltage.
Yeah, and it absorbs, is it green carborundum? Is that the same thing?
I do not know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I only know from what's in this pretty package? Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
I have a degree in physics, but it wasn't solid state physics. So that's just, no, these are silicon parts, but they are big, heavy duty parts. I mean, the largest of them, they get into the kilowatt range for a part. Now, most of the FETs that we deal with, power FETs and stuff, they're 150 watts, they're 200 watt kind of stuff. Nah, here's a kilowatt. And the voltages are like, they get into the 900 volt category. They get into the 50, 60, 70 amp category.
Wow.
They get into the, 500, these are like serious parts.
For real, yeah.
So you can use one per channel, and you've got an amplifier.
Yeah.
And so I'm just wrapping up some design work on those to basically further the use of VFETs in first watt.
Interesting.
And so we're going to see product there.
Are those SIT amps something that I'm realizing with the hybrid that I was speaking about from Nat? is that it's a single stage amplification. There's no 3 stages. It's just 1 stage.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same with your SIT stuff too? Or is there also separate stages, like a gain stage? And
Well, we have options. I've got, the SIT 1 was a single stage amplifier.
okay.
The SIT 2 was also a single stage. It had the only actual real gain transistor was just that one.
Yeah, right.
However, in both cases, it had the option of a little buffer in front of it in case you wanted a high input impedance. In some preamps like tube guys, sometimes they want a real high impedance. So we did have this, you could strap in the thing in the back, an optional buffer that gave you 100K input impedance instead of 10K.
Sure.
The SIT 3 is
That's
technically a 2-stage because it's got a buffer followed by a transformer. That's its voltage gain. And then the SIT is a follower.
Yep. Okay.
So we're into that level of simplicity. However, the first piece that I have that I'm projecting to stick into an amp for first watch is in fact a single stage. And
yeah, interesting concept. It sounds really pretty clean.
Well, the SITs can do that.
Yeah.
And still give you a damping factor to boot. They've got that characteristic. The power on that case, actually, it looks like we'll probably get into some, decent power levels. Most of the SIT amplifiers we did with the parts that we had were starting at 10 watts, and they got up to like 20, 25 watts. I think SIT 3 is your basic 25, 20 watt amplifier. And what we've got with these bigger parts are the capacity to of probably triple those numbers.
Oh, wow. Super exciting.
Yeah. So there's going to be, for guys who don't have the 95, they got 90 dB speakers now.
But still, it's a single device?
Well, if I don't buffer it, it's a single device. And the choice will be probably, what can their preamp drive? If you need 100K input impedance, it would require a buffer. And that's just a FET, that follows.
Sure.
But we'll see how it goes. I haven't quite wrapped up all of that, but at least I got it down to the point where I'm getting this much performance under the hood of this much chassis.
Yeah. Yeah. No, truly.
So I know that it's going to get done.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah. On that note, also by that same company, Nat Audio from Serbia, this one that I import, I've got one with the tube is, it's a huge giant, it's a GM100.
It's like transmitting tubes.
Yep. GM100, which makes 160 watts of single-ended Class A triode out of a single tube.
What's the price tag on that?
Amazingly enough, they're not very expensive because nobody associates them with audio. They're associated for ham radio, so they're $150.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still,
once you put it,
the power supply and all that you're going to need for that is still going to cost you something.
Yeah, they're massive transformers. So, the retail on the pair of monos is $40,000.
All right, there you are.
It's reasonable, but all things considered. But it's interesting. So what is your view on these amplifiers that are out there that are $250,000 and you open them up and it looks like old school? There's nothing revolutionary in there.
Well, there's not a lot of revolution anyways,
How far can you take Class A and Class AB, right?
I've concentrated on, two simple kinds of things. Simple is the operative word for me when you're dealing in very high-end goods. The other thing is that you start working with more exotic devices, trying to get the performance. It's just like that giant tube. Yeah. That's an exotic device, and it's going to function as a triode, probably. Well, the transmitting tube probably is a triode.
It is
because they like that output the output impedance. The biggest triode I ever saw was, as I say, I got a degree in physics at UC Davis, and there was a physics building, and I had a job working 2 doors down at the engineering building. Okay, so I was going back and forth. In between them, though, was the cyclotron. And this was the cyclotron that they used in World War II.
Wow.
If it was the original. It's a pretty low power unit, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
What they do nowadays elsewhere is amazing, but it turns out there's still a tremendous amount of work for your lower power cyclotrons, making isotopes and doing and research even. So there's and by the way, the head of the cyclotron is a really avid DIYer for audio.
Oh,
yeah. So, he's
cool.
That doesn't hurt.
Yeah, fact, not at all.
How I met the Kent at the R factory, who, if you call Past Labs up, you get Kent answers the phone 9 times out of 10. He's customer service.
Okay.
And I met him. He was the operator of the cyclotron.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, so.
That's great, man.
Yeah. So anyways, one day, Kent, who was still working at the cyclotron back then, he shows up with his little pickup truck, and in the back, he's got a tube, which occupies the bed of this pickup truck. And it's this monster thing. I mean, wow. It's huge.
Yeah.
I couldn't lift it, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh,
that's the triode of the cyclotron. It was going out for remachining.
Wow, machining on the base?
It was all metal.
Yeah. Oh, the whole thing is metal. Yeah. Okay.
The whole thing was metal.
Wow.
And they run super vacuum pumps to evacuate that. There's some really exotic, not a pump, but it's something really,
yeah,
ultra exotic to get, there's true real vacuums for the cyclotron.
Wow.
Yes, but the biggest triode I ever saw.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we started talking about what kind of amplifier we could make with it.
You have a concert, man. Yeah.
In any case, I really appreciate tubes because, a lot of what I do these days is, working to emulate their properties with solid state. They deliver.
Yeah.
They deliver a lot of performance for very simple circuitry.
Yeah.
And they have a characteristic of that second harmonic.
That's what I was going to say.
When I released, or when I finished developing the first SIT amplifier, and again, the SIT is a triode, but it's solid state. I saw clearly, though, in development that you could adjust the bias point, the operating point of the triode, to create different characteristics of distortion. Okay, and there were 3 basic zones that you operate in, and basically, in the case of the SIT-1, I put a knob on the front with a meter to tell you where you were with the bias on the bias point, and also you could adjust it.
Oh, super cool!
So we built 10 of them up, and I distributed them to people, and without commenting at all about what the knob did, I said, listen to it. Figure out where on the knob do you like the best. I had my own opinion.
What were the results, man?
Well, the result is that first off, it's like this. If you turn here's the meter. Yep. So if you turn the knob up, the meter goes up with it. That way you feel good about how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
And John Wagner is the name of that machinist.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Nice. All right. Brilliant.
As you turn the knob up, okay, the voltage across the SIT increases. It goes to a different operating point, and it in the high position, it has a second harmonic distortion character. If you look at the distortion, you see a second harmonic, almost pure.
Got you.
And as you turn the knob down toward the middle, that disappeared and slowly melded down into a little third harmonic. Okay, and the second was gone. You had some third harmonic residual. And then if you went down further, the harmonic came back. But the difference between the 2 harmonics, top and bottom, were the top harmonic had what we call positive phase character. The second had a positive peak at all peaks of the fundamental of the wave.
Got you.
And then if you turned it down, you call that negative phase second. I think I invented the term, frankly, but I needed a word for it. And and the distortion is negative going. It peaks negatively at all peaks of the fundamental.
Oh, wow.
So you can null the distortion out, or you can have it in second with positive, or on the other side, negative phase. which do you choose? Most people chose negative phase. Not only that, but they picked a setting that was about what came to be about like a 1% kind of a figure. And which is, I consider that very substantial, but they liked it.
Yeah.
Now you can get rid of it, no problemo.
Wow.
Or you can have it, your choice. Most people pick that. Now, not everybody, because this is one of those things where some people liked it in the middle and some people liked it on the other side, and more power to them, I say.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, but but there was a different sonic experience that went with this, and I'll generalize this at this point, which is third harmonic has got a quality where it doesn't warm up the sound or particularly move the spatial characteristics of the presentation around.
Okay.
Positive phase second harmonic comes and it gets a little more in your face. Okay. A little more intimate.
Yeah.
Negative phase goes back a little bit and you start thinking in terms of the spatial distinctions between things that are going on. It just
interesting.
It deepens the sound stage.
Wow.
Third harmonic doesn't do either of those. Those effects go away kind of, you know, but you get more sense of dynamic range. And
with the more harmonic, you get a greater sense of dynamic range, or less harmonic.
Well, that's a good question. If it is third order, Now, most third order that occurs in amplifiers is compressive. That is to say, the peaks are becoming compressed almost all the time that you run into it. I have seen a few examples. I've even produced at least one example where it actually was expansive, at least up to a point. And then when you go to clip, that's gone away because your expansion is long gone. But there was a lower power range where third harmonic of expansive quality was available out of the amplifier. But again, that's pretty rare. Most of the time, it's actually hard to achieve.
Sure, okay.
Not for a technical boy, I'm sure, but running into it, you don't see it. The quality that people seem to relate to, though, is they're listening to compressive second harmonic. And what I was surprised by is that you imagine somehow that would give you a sense of more dynamics. I would always imagine that, oh yeah, it's, you know, the expansion here is like more dynamic. Well, no. It appears that people are impressed that it's more dynamic when it's being compressed on the peaks. And that's the third harmonic we deal in. So we've got these three kind of characteristics, and something with a knob like that allowed people to play with it. What we did in the end is that we put the center of the meter on the negative phase second harmonic into that zone. Because that was where most people liked it, but they would free to monkey around with it.
Where my mind goes with this thing is, why not make a second order harmonic generator that goes negative and positive so people can play with their sound stage and have that?
I did for the DIYers.
Oh, cool, dude.
Because it's you build it yourself.
Yeah, it's all component.
It's like $10.
Oh, cool.
Because it's a little board and it's got, each channel has a little JFET on it.
Yep.
And the JFET and you can adjust the point at which the JFET operates. And it's actually quite popular.
What's it called? Is it on your website?
Yeah, it's called the H2 generator. You'll see it. Well, it's on my website. Well, the website I'm talking about is First Watt. That's where I publish my own little articles.
Right. That's what I was.
But at DIY Audio,
right,
there's a Past Labs forum, and it's there under the H2 generator. Plus, you can buy it in the store there.
Oh, super cool. I'm going to make one. I want to make one.
I'll send you. You send me your address. I will send you.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds fun. Like how interesting to play with that, you know? And
people love it.
Yeah.
The other thing that that I did, and I'm not the originator of this particularly, but I did do a kit, is the Korg makes a little tube,
the flat thing.
The little flat thing, which is actually an offshoot of the digital displays. Cold cathode, and those displays, they turn the elements on and off. They got a grid. And
someone told me that thing was a tube. I looked at it, I'm like, there's no way that thing's a tube. What are you talking about?
It's a tube. I'm looking at one,
That's so cool.
But they said, well, gee, this is cool. And Korg, of course, now that is Korg doesn't make that tube, but Korg had the tube made by Noritake, who makes those things. So what it is, it's stereo too. It's two of them in a little package. The cathode glows blue.
Oh, super cool.
And it runs on low voltages, low current,
yep.
Okay, high impedances. And it doesn't swing a lot of voltage, and you need to buffer the output because it's very high impedance. But it has a triode characteristic, and you can sit there and dial this stuff up. Now the B1, what was it? Actually, B1s were you can't see. B1 was the first one. I have to move my camera.
Yeah.
There's a little preamp with two knobs on it. Well, actually, I can do this probably.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. There you
are. See the B? I got a stack of them there.
Yeah, man.
Each one being somewhat different. I came up with a little Korg version of that, and it's so it's called the B1 Korg. It's available as a kit at DIY Audio. Now, between those two people, all sorts of people are just going nuts over it because they're having a lot of fun. They're going, wow, I can't believe it. And of course, there's a whole class of audio guys who look down their nose.
Oh, of course.
Because of course,
whatever.
These are the people who say, I want to hear the performance strictly as the composer / performer intended.
Yeah, really. Okay. I mean, there's so many ways we could pull that apart. I won't even start here, but we start with the coloration of the microphone. Shall we start there? I mean, come on.
Everywhere. Everywhere. So this is entertainment. That's what it is.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Joe, my partner, said, it's not dialysis.
Right. Exactly.
Joe died and left us with a whole book full of pithy sayings.
Oh yeah.
Were not only funny, but whenever you had a situation that required some kind of resolution, always provided the guiding principle by which you could make a decision. And so people loved him so much they actually made up a little booklet of Joe's sayings.
Yes. God bless him.
So, but it's not dialysis. It's got to be one of my favorites.
That's great. That's fantastic. Well, hey, man, I certainly appreciate your time. I've taken enough.
Lovely to talk to you. And after all these years, too, it's been forever.
I know, man. I know. I was really impressed with, we met in a very brief way, with Kells. I haven't talked to Kells in forever.
I haven't either.
Yeah. And it's good to be back face to face.
Yeah, you were on a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's right, man.
I remember.
Yeah. Yep. I bought, when I had AB amps up there, I had no transportation. So I bought a BMW K-bike and cruised around on that thing up through those. Oh man, it's so pretty up there in the Sierra Nevada, in that little area, the outskirts, I guess, of the Sierra Nevada.
It has suffered from the fire situation, both in terms of areas that have gotten burned, but also the level of fire paranoia that has come in, has influenced how people treat property and such. Yeah, and very unfortunate. Absolutely wonderful place.
It really, there was, I remember in my mind a fork of a river where I think the American River hits they come together.
It's the north, middle, and south forks of the American River come together in Auburn under the bridge.
That place right there, that spot is epic. I remember it in my mind's eye, like I'm looking at it yesterday. It made such an impression.
If you go down there and look up, it's just as amazing.
Oh boy, I'll bet. Yeah, yeah. So well, maybe we can do this again sometime. It was a great conversation, man.
Well, always a pleasure. Yeah. Stay in touch.
Yeah, man. I will. Over and out.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Take care, man. Have fun.
Take care.
You got any pets, man? You got a dog?
Oh, my dog died.
Oh, poor baby.
After 15 years, 8 months, and 8 days.
Oh, no. What kind of a doggy?
He was a mix. I'll send you a picture.
Oh, okay.
I have lovely pictures of him. We even have a book.
Oh, yeah?
That was made. But what was I going to say? I forgot.
Doggy. We were talking about Doggy. What was his name?
But Jail has 2 horses.
Oh, okay. Beautiful.
In
what
fact,
was what was your doggy's name?
His name was Jack.
Jack. Oh,
yeah. And he went to audio shows. He went to the Burning Amp festivals.
Oh, really?
All these kinds of things. I've got lots of photos of him.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. All right, my friend.
All right.
Thanks again for joining.
Take care.
Okay, cheers.
Next time.
You bet. Bye-bye.